Hello, everybody, all of my subscribers out there. Welcome to a new episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. That was a little blocky, and the cats are guest starring, as you can see. Been a while since I had an episode. Been a little while. Cats are not only guest starring, but also trying to step on various things. I haven't had much new, or really, I haven't had much time to really do any reviews on anything new lately. Been kind of constrained by space and things of that nature. So I was at the grocery store today, and I hadn't intended on picking anything else up today, but I noticed. Now, the last, like 2 episodes ago, I did an episode on the Jack Daniel's newest parts of their lineup. They put out a series of 3 bottled in bond expressions, 3 whiskeys for roughly $23 to $30 a piece. So really affordable, decent stuff, and different in flavor. So this time, I noticed while I was walking through, I saw that Jim Beam had a selection of different bottlings, and I'm gonna go ahead and change the lighting on my TV here so you can actually see my face. It's gonna be blue, some blue lighting, because the lighting in here isn't that great right now. Give it a second. More cats coming through. More cats trying to step on things. Yeah, it's still pretty dark in here. I don't know. It's 2 in the morning, so. But Jim Beam had a selection of new bottlings. At least they were new to me. I hadn't seen them before, and they were all in the same price range, which tells me that they're probably, because Jim Beam is a big competitor for Jack Daniel's, it tells me that they were competing. And so I took a look at them, and I bought all 4 that I saw. One of them I think has been out for a while, but the other 3 have not. So I'm going to take a look at those. We've got pre-Prohibition style rye. I don't think you can see that very well. Let me see if I can work on the lighting here a little bit. There, that'll help. It'll blind me a little bit, but it'll help. It's a flashlight. Gosh, maybe if I put it back here. Yeah, that'll help a little bit. That'll help a little bit. Not a whole lot, but. So the first one is pre-Prohibition rye. And so obviously it's a rye bourbon whiskey. The next one is the black extra aged bourbon, which I'm looking forward to because bourbon usually isn't aged for very long. It's usually not. It's a very young overall as far as how long you mature it. The next one is double oak twice barreled. Pretty nice there. Show you that. I'm gonna make sure you got the other one too. The black extra aged. So there's 2 expressions of the black. Oh no, double oaked and black. And then there's Devil's Cut, which I've seen before, but I don't think I've gotten. And but it was in the same price range, so I threw it on the whole thing. So I'm going to do a quadrillion tasting of all 4 of these for you and give you my thoughts on them. So I have 4 different Glencairns, and the first 2 already look slightly different in color, but I got 4 different Glencairns so that I don't get any cross-contamination on the flavor. I I got a little bit of water to open up the palate in between. Sure, I was going to do that twice. I'm going to have double of the double oaked. Huh? And they all smell real good. Jim Beam is always one of those ones that I wasn't really particularly a big fan of usually because it clearly tastes like a bourbon, which you might think, well, what's wrong with a bourbon taste? But it has the same kind of problem that Jack Daniels has sometimes, where it's you taste more alcohol than anything else. So if that'll help. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this flashlight from being in my eyes here, and I don't know. The lighting in here just isn't really all that great right now. So not much I can do about that unless I replace the fixture live here on the video. Which I know it's a recorded video, not live, but I do these as if they are live. You guys know that. So, move the cat out of the way again. They want the guest star. Alright, so the first one I'm going to try is the pre-prohibition style rye. It's in the back left there. Nice, good color. Nice, good color there. Nice golden. A little bit of auburn there. Smells good. Smells kind of fruity, kind of appley. Definitely has some ethanol smell to it. Let's take a taste. Not bad. Smooth, but then it hits you with all that alcohol right after the fact. This one is, let's see, this one is 90 proof. They're probably all in that range. But I'm getting a lot of apple in that, in the after effect. A lot of apple pie. Like Granny Smith kind of apple pie kind of things going on in there. Pretty decent. I like it. I like it. I'm still trying to fuss with this flashlight here without it getting in my eyes, but I don't know. I think it's going to get in my eyes anyway, regardless of what I do about it. Here, this doesn't look like I'm doing a ghost story. Nah, that's terrible. That's not doing much. I'm just going to shut that off. You'll just have to look at me in the dark. So, yeah. So the pre-prohibition rye style 90 proof from Jim Beam. I'm getting a lot of apple pie after flavors. There was a bit of a kick of alcohol in the middle. Like it started off smooth and then it rose up into that slightly burning, and then it settled into that nice apple taste. So not bad. I got a good numbing sensation in my mouth here. Cleanse the palate a little bit. Now moving on to the black extra aged bourbon, which I'm always a big fan of extra aged. I wonder how long it's been extra aged. It doesn't really say. No, it doesn't really say. This is 86 proof, so it's actually lower proof than the rye. Again, you got pretty good color. You guys can't see it as well because I shut that flashlight off, but pretty decent. Smells milder than the other one. Still getting some apple, but this is more like caramel apple. Some caramelized apple. Maybe. Not necessarily caramel, but caramelized apple. Not getting as much fume. The first one, the rye, had more fume. More ethanol fume. This one doesn't have as much. So, let's take a look. Sweeter, much sweeter and smoother. Yep, no big alcohol kick. A nice solid warming sensation though. A nice solid warming sensation. No alcohol kick. It definitely has that Jim Beam kind of character taste in the background. But very sweet. Very sweet. I'm trying to see what it devolves into. A little bit of caramelization. A little bit of caramel. Almost like a caramel apple as opposed to caramelized apple. Decent though. I like that. I think I like that a little bit better than the rye. It's not as spicy. It's not as it's got a nice, pleasant warming sensation, but it doesn't hit you very hard with the ethanol paint thinner effect, as I've said before, the turpentine effect. Not bad. That's going to be the one probably right now that I'm leaning towards. That is the black extra aged bourbon. This was kind of helping when I was putting up the labels here, so. The black extra aged bourbon. Okay. Good stuff. I wonder if it'll let me see the color now. As you can see, it's pretty close to the first one. Here's a comparison. Here's the second one. Here's the first one. A little bit lighter. A little bit lighter, as you can see. A little bit more golden, more pale. Alright, let's try the Double Oak Twice Barreled. So that one looks like it's going to be a good contender also. Let's make sure I got enough of the last one out of my mouth here. Clear that palate. Alright, so the Double Oak Twice Barreled. It smells lighter than the other two. Not much of an alcohol fume at all. Not much of one. A little bit, but not much. Color, more golden, more dark gold, more syrupy looking. Let's go ahead and try this one. The Double Oak Twice Barreled. Sweet, very fumy. A lot of alcohol taste on the back end. Yep. A lot of alcohol taste on the back end. This one definitely tastes like Jim Beam. It's definitely a Jim Beam signature. Kind of sour. More like sour apple. That's another thing I've noticed between all these. They all have kind of an apple taste to them. Maybe I'm just thinking apples lately. I don't know. I've never been a super like, oh man, I love apples. Gotta have an apple today. No, I don't usually have cravings for apples, but yeah, this is more crisp. A little more crisp. A little more sour apple. Sour crisp apple. Like a fresh apple. As opposed to like an apple pie or something that's been cooked up like the last two. Decent though. It had more of an initial fume and then it settled out. Yeah, it settled pretty good. This is a nice slow drinker. I like this one. I still think that the black is going to be my favorite so far, unless the Devil's Cut really wows me. But yeah, this is a close second, with the rye coming in third, I think, actually. So not bad. I like that. I like the taste of that. Now the last one, of course, is the Devil's Cut. And it's made with bourbon extracted from the barrel walls, it says. So this should be super barrel tasty, very woody. I'm kind of interested in how that's going to come about. That's 90 proof. The Double Oak was 86 proof, like the black was. And that might be why I didn't get as much of an alcohol taste between the two of them. Although 86 proof is nothing to sneeze at, um, it's there's a good difference between 86 and 90 proof. You wouldn't think very much if it's only 4 points, but it's a bit of difference. Make sure I clean out the double oak. Not bad. All right. So the last one, of course, is the Devil's Cut. Like I said, this is 90 proof, just like the rye. And as I just mentioned, it's made with bourbon extracted from the barrel walls. So it's going to be strong stuff, strong tasting. Not necessarily strong as in it hits you hard, but strong tasting. It's going to have a lot of barrel taste. And sometimes that can be really good, and sometimes that can be very poor. The first run I had of the Terramana tequila that was endorsed by The Rock, the first bottle I ever got from them was very woody tasting. It tasted like barrel a lot, and that's not something I want to have in my tequila. I'm not a big tequila fan, but when I do have tequila, I don't want it to taste like wood, and this tasted very woody. Later versions, later bottlings didn't have that so much. They worked that out. I think that first one was just really strong, and then eventually they worked it out. But sometimes that can be good, and sometimes that can be bad. So, pardon me. Sometimes a good char from the inside of the barrel is good. Toasted bourbons right now are a big thing, and that's made from barrels that have specifically been lightly charred on the inside, not heavily charred, just lightly toasted, so to speak. And so they give just a little bit of smoky flavor. And since that's such a big thing, a lot of those are a little overpriced right now for what you get. They taste decent, but they're not worth the prices that they're going for, not in my opinion. But so we'll see how this tastes in comparison to that kind of stuff. So once again, the Jim Beam Devil's Cut bourbon. Ooh, definite alcohol smell. Definite fume. Almost makes me want to sneeze. Ooh, that gets right up into your sinuses. Let's see how it tastes. Yep, a lot more bitter. A lot deeper of a flavor than the other ones. You can see me kind of like, as I'm working through it, because it's not bad. It looks like it's terrible from the face I'm making, but it's just bitter, sour. It's got that Jim Beam sweetness to it. It has that definite Jim Beam taste in the background. But it has a very heavy numbing effect on my tongue. Despite being the same proof as the rye, it feels like it's doing more of a job than the rye did. It feels like it's hitting those taste buds harder and kind of drowning them out a little bit. Like I'm losing flavors, I think. I wouldn't want to drink this before drinking other things. Like if I'd had this at the start of the tasting, I think I would have ruined the taste of everything else. Not because, again, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's just a really heavy taste, and it really, really hits those taste buds in just the right way, that it numbs them for you. It's good though. It's complex. It's a bit more complex than the other ones. It's a more complex bourbon than the other ones, and I like it. I like all these, and they're all affordable. Each one of these was $23.99 at my local Ohio grocery store. This is in Canton, Ohio, so of course your prices may vary based on state taxes, etc., etc. But $23.99 for each one of these bottles is pretty good for the tastes involved. So I like them. So let's go over this one more time. What I had: the Jim Beam Rye Prohibition Style. See if you can get real good on that. I don't know if maybe if I can shine this light up here a little bit. There you go. It's in a green label. And the Black Extra Aged Bourbon, which is so far my favorite. That's not Black Label, of course. That one's my favorite so far. The Double Oak Twice Barreled, which was also very good. I think that's second. And the Devil's Cut. I'm having a hard time placing this one. I liked the black at number 1, the Double Oak at number 2, and the Rye at number 3. The Devil's Cut doesn't feel like it should sit at number 4 because it wasn't bad. It was just so different from the other ones. Even the Rye, because it had a higher rye content than compared with the grain content on the other ones, still fit in that lineup, but the Devil's Cut kind of stands alone. And so I have a hard time kind of deciding where I'm going to put that. But they're all good. They're all very good. And I encourage you all to go and give it a try. They're very, very affordable. Again, $23.99 for each one. And I like them. I haven't always been the biggest Jim Beam fan, but I do like these. I think they went out of their way to try to give them each a very unique flavor profile. I think they all stand separately from each other. There's some similarities, like there's a lot of apple taste among them, which I think is just a signature thing for Jim Beam, based on the barrels that they use or however they distill it. Yeah, a good lineup. Go ahead and give it a try. If you haven't tried the Jack Daniel's Bottled in Bond series that came out recently, also give them a try. They have 3 different kinds: the sour mash, the I don't remember what they are actually. I know the sour mash is one, triple mash maybe, triple mash. But yeah, so try those, compare these. They're very affordable. Like I said, you can get all 4 of these bottles for the price of one good high-end bottle of Scotch or bourbon. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I don't think your friends are going to be disappointed either if you spread these out among your friends and have a little get-together, do a little blind tasting and such with all these. I think everybody's going to be happy. So that's it for this episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. Episodes will continue to be probably pretty sporadic. Money's a bit tight right now. Had just disaster after disaster after disaster happen. I had something happen with the car. I had to get my kid an air conditioner because her room was just scorching this year and her window fan wasn't doing it. And I've perpetually plagued with basement plumbing problems. But that's going to be fixed real soon. That's one thing off my shoulders, but still a big cash investment. So yeah, so keep an eye out. The next episode may come whenever. I don't know what I'm going to review next or what I'm going to have the time for. Keep an eye out for it. And again, if you have any suggestions, just drop me a comment on any one of these videos. I will try to find them. My Bottled in Bond Jack Daniel's video got 26 views, which you might think, oh, 26 views, that's not very many. But for me, that's a big deal. That's a lot of views all in one go, so I appreciate that. And I hope this one gets just as many or more. And if there's something else you'd like me to review, by all means, just drop me a line. The Uncanny Spirits Club at gmail.com for questions, comments, etc. I'm rarely on Facebook these days. I'm going to be posting this video, cross-posting it to there from YouTube. I know you're going to be watching it on YouTube primarily, so I hope you enjoy it. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Ghosty. Ooh.